Motorheads, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? So we got a bunch of ladies coming in and joining us. That's pretty cool. I love seeing lady builders. I've taught a lot of ladies how to build. So as promised, I'm gonna put out some long stories, show you some different stuff. This particular video is about a 72 Cuda that turned into a 71 Cuda convertible clone. The year is 1999, and I'm getting bored. By then, I've already done, I don't know, 30-40 sets of quarter panels. Been doing all kinds of rust repairs, interiors. I've just already done, from 1985 up until 99. I've already done so many interiors, vinyl tops, paint jobs, motor rebuilds, and I'm getting bored. And 98, 99 is kind of when the craze started for everybody wants a Cuda. And I'm running around all over Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia. Hell, I even went as far as Texas and bought some cars. And I'm buying as many Cuda and Challenger bodies as I can. I was putting them on eBay. I would bring them in, de-rust them, replace the metal, prime them, and put them on eBay. And people were flying in. People would fly into the local airport, and I'd pick them up. I'd bring them down, and we'd decide what color they wanted, what engine they wanted, what interior they wanted, what options they wanted. It was build your own Cuda, kind of. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love building local guys' cars, but at this point I was trying to get bigger. I was trying to expand, and at that point I thought I had a pretty good crew. It was pretty much me who did all this, but I always had helpers. There was one man in general that always helped me on some of the more important stuff when he had time. But it was pretty much me who did all this stuff, because there wasn't a lot of people around here doing it. So again, 1999, something like that, and I run into a 1972 Cuda with a date code. It was built in September of 1971. So in my opinion, even though it's got a 72 Cuda tail panel, you'll see it even had 71 seats in it. And when you get a car built for this one, you get a car built in the end of 71 for a 72 model year. There were a lot of leftover parts. They used whatever they had left in the factory on their early 72s before they phased in whatever they were going for 72, 3, and 4. So, and that's when the bodies had changed. That's when they started inputting in a lot of safety stuff and stuff like that. But early 72s had a lot of 71 stuff on it. So I get this car in. The frames are solid, and somebody's already chopped this car up. You'll see the picture. Somebody's already mangled this car up. They stripped it for parts and left it to sit. And I picked this shell up, I don't know, $500, something like that, maybe $1,000 back then. And it's pretty rough. But at the same time, I found a guy in Ohio. I bought 2 Cudas from him, and I also bought a complete set of convertible parts. The convertible parts did not come with VIN number or anything like that, but it was the metal for the convertible around the back. It was the windshield, cowl, all the parts that made it a convertible. The steel supports underneath. He had cut up a very rusty car, and he was going to do what I was going to do, but bailed out of the project. So I went up and bought all this stuff, bought it off eBay. I think I'm going to be able to find a picture of me hauling these 2 cars back. So I get all these parts, and I get a gentleman from California. He calls me. He sees my website, and he says, hey, I want a 71 Cuda convertible, and I don't mind if it's a clone. I don't want to spend the money on the convertible, because back then they were convertibles were going for $100,000, $150,000. So he said, but I want a 71 Cuda convertible. I said, okay, let me see what I can do here. So I walk out and I'm looking around my yard, and here's this 72 Cuda, and it's rough, but the frames were solid. The firewall was solid. So I'm looking at this car, and I'm looking at these convertible parts, and I called him back and I said, look, I can make you one, but it's going to be titled as a 72 Cuda hardtop. He says, I don't care. He says, this gentleman had a 71 Hemicuda in high school, and he wanted to make a clone, but he didn't want to spend $150,000 for it, or back then $1 million for a true 71 Cuda convertible, Hemi car. And he's like, what are we talking? I said, I can probably put it together for you, $60,000, $70,000, I'm not sure. And he says, let's do it. So I dig into this project. To me, it was a challenge. You know, I at that point, I had never done any chop tops, any coupes. It had been pretty much just, you know, either people coming for metal replacement or interior jobs, and I had never had the chance to venture into chopping the top on a car, making a custom car, other than what I did when I was really young. So it's a challenge to me. I'm going to do it. You know, this is a real cool challenge. Here we go. I'm going to make this happen. I can remember some of it. Boy, it was a lot harder than I thought. But stuck with it, and I got it done. And it came out rather good. Now, when the big shop failed, and I went through my mental ordeal of a divorce, and so much was going on that and it just got so overwhelming. I had 2 girls to worry about, you know, my daughters. I had, you know, all the cars at the shop to worry about, and I'm dealing with the mental anguish of a divorce. So I threw my hands in the air. Chapter 7. I'm done. I'm out. It's over. I give up. And now this guy from California, he was one of the clients that stuck with me. He said, Bill, now this guy had already been to my shop. He flew in from California. He saw everything. He saw who I was, what I was. He saw what I was doing. He saw that I was just a hometown boy trying to do good and love the cars. So he stuck with me. I hope I can find a picture. I got a picture of his car on the back of a rollback, leaving the old shop, going to my new property. It was a really cool picture of this car on a rotisserie way up in the air on a rollback. So he stuck with me, brought the car out here, got it finished, came out pretty damn good. Now at that point, we were going to do a Ray Barton motor, but at that point, because of having to fix this shop and everything I was going through, he said, look, Bill, he said, finish the car. He said, but I'll put the motor and trans in it. So I did all the suspension, I did all the interior. He wanted a baby blue shaker hood with white interior. That was the car he had in high school. So I finished it all up, got it done, got it painted, all the parts on it. It was ready for him to put a motor and trans in. And the last picture you're going to see is it going on a trailer and heading to California. So I hope I've talked enough time to get as many pictures out as I can, because it was a pretty cool build. For me at the time, it was a fantastic build. I was just tickled to death to take on this project and further my abilities at cutting and welding and fitting. And you know, I had to buy earlier in when I started getting into doing frame replacements. Now back then we didn't have any of these frames, we didn't have any of these full quarter panels, we didn't have crap. You know, you could get a quarter panel up to the line, you could get trunk pans that were 2 pieces, you could get individual floor pans, but they were only patches. They weren't all these panels they have today. I'm sorry, baby girl, I see you. So we pieced this car together. Before this car, I had to get a frame tram, so you could measure X on the bottom and make sure everything was straight before you put them together. And then you're going to see, you might have already seen the pictures of, back then we did 1x2 steel and tied the frames together. So hope you enjoyed the pictures, hope you enjoyed the video. This is one of the projects I'm really proud of. I built it from bottom up. You can see it's pretty rough when she started, but she left out of here, and somewhere floating around California is a baby blue white interior Hemi 4-speed Cuda. Looks like a 71 Cuda Convertible, but it's titled a 1972 340 hardtop. And if anybody out there in this video land knows where that car is at, I'd love to see what's going on with it today. So this old school metal guy would love to see what's up with it. So again, thanks for joining in, guys. I hope you like it. I'm going to work on putting some more YouTube video, I'm going to work on putting some more videos out, some long videos to show more of what I've done over the years. None of this is bragging. Actually, I'm building a resume because I've had a lot of guys call and offer me pretty damn good money to go run shops because I have the history of doing that. So I got more videos to come out. There'll be other builds. I did some really cool stuff to a 69 Charger. I got some stories coming out about some of the crazy ass shit that I did when I racing these cars. Don't have pictures of all that, but we'll share what we can. And just in general, the good, the bad, and the ugly of getting in a Mopar restoration business in 1988 and building these cars all the way up till today. So again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys like all these videos. Let me know what you think of the builds. Cuda Bill out.